Hello wrestling fans, this is the Wolfgang and this is by Pinfall or Submission, the podcast which deals with fact, not fiction, not fantasy, not rumors, nor speculation. Today we're going to talk about Roman Reigns. Now I would like to start out by saying I have a lot of respect for Roman Reigns. As a man, as a human being, he overcame leukemia. He was diagnosed when he was 22. When he not only survived it, he thrived. He is truly an inspiration. When I've been to a lot of hospitals, met with a lot of kids in my days, and I tell you, he could make a tour. Really, he could do something very, very special with what he's been through. So I do want to get that stated first and foremost, because the rest of what I'm going to say is not exactly flattering, but it's not his fault. He's a soldier, like we all were. He does what he's told to do, goes where he's told to go. So it kind of is what it is, in a respect. But he ends up being the scapegoat of it, unfortunately. In professional wrestling, at least from the insider's view, we grade each other on three categories. One, recognizability. It's based on your character, your persona, your antics, the visuals, basically, of when you're coming into the ring. Second, grade on technique. Can you actually wrestle? I'm not talking about, jumping off a 12-foot ladder through a folding table. I'm talking about actually using wear-down moves. We're using holds, escapes, counters, things of that nature. Thirdly is charisma. Can you get on a microphone? Can you sell tickets? Do people really want to hear you talk? Yeah, they like to see you wrestle, but they really want to see you talk as well. That is the trifecta. Now, there are very few in wrestling who've ever accomplished all that, even on a large scale. Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes, Roddy Piper, Superstar Billy Graham, Bruiser Brody. Those are just three of many who've accomplished it. All three were very recognizable when they're coming to the ring or inside the ring. You couldn't take your eyes off them. They could all wrestle. And they had that it factor, the charisma. Now, there were some that had 2 out of 3. When they tried, and they got some moderate push for it. But they were not immortalized so much, except for maybe one. Hulk Hogan. Hogan, very recognizable outside the ring, very recognizable by his name. Charisma off the charts. He probably one of the most charismatic wrestlers of all time. Unfortunately, the man could not wrestle his way out of a paper bag. That was the drawback. So in his day and era, to keep a title on him for several years, it wasn't such a big thing. Today's wrestling fan wants action. They want turnover. They want excitement. What I've noticed is there's a lack of patience in society as a whole. And that translates down to the wrestling viewer. They don't have a patience for a long-time champion. They want to see a different champion because they get tired of it. Now, with Roman Reigns, he is not a talker. He does not do well on a microphone. That's a drawback. And having the Uso sisters behind him, that's not going to help matters any because they don't say anything. Now, he does have Paul Heyman with him. Paul Heyman has become a hood ornament. Basically, he's part of the car, but he doesn't serve any real function. He's just there. He holds the belts. Like I say, a hood ornament. When Roman Reigns speaks, it is horrible. Because of the vernacular he uses, it destroys everything. He is the tribal chief from the Isle of Samoa. When you hear him talk, it sounds like he's talking like he's coming straight out from the hood. Now, racial insensitivity is no stranger to WWFE. When Junior McMahon was running the company, just recently he hasn't, But when NWA was putting out Straight Outta Compton, Junior McMahon put out the song for managers called Slick. Jive, Soul, Bro was the title of the song. Again, racial insensitivity, no stranger to WWFE. They're pretty much tone deaf on it. So, from this aspect, I mean, it took Roman Reigns a while before he actually developed how to ask for the crowd to acknowledge him. Because he came out going, "Acknowledge me!" And nobody paid attention to it. Everybody kind of laughed it off. But then he decided to say the name of the town and go, "Acknowledge me!" And that's the only line comes out of his mouth that actually is worth listening to. The rest of it's garbage. Because he throws in a few y'alls and like he's coming out of the hood. It's horrible, ladies and gentlemen. It's horrible. But it is how it is. Where unfortunately, now to put one title on him for the length of time that he's had it, for over 2 years, I think, that is really, again, today's day and age, really unthinkable. But to put 2 titles on him, the most prestigious titles, is ridiculous. And again, this really has nothing to do with, diminishing Roman Reigns. Other than they should have gotten him to take some acting classes. Maybe then he could have been a little better on the microphone. But you can tell the charisma's not there. And unfortunately for him, it's making him look bad. Now, again, it's not an opinion. I'm trying to state facts. So I allow for you to make up your own minds. You can take what I said, sift through it, and see what you think. Till then, till next time, we'll see you at the matches.